Hello, everybody. Awesome. Okay, I am going to take care of one little technical thing here. Just in case you're not the person that will end up being the one to enter your camps into Camps Rock, you can share this with other people in your office or, without further ado, I am actually going to share with you my screen. And I want to do this a little bit different today in that if you have questions, I want you to feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question or put it in the chat as I go along. I want to make sure that this is, if I forget to say something or if you have questions in the moment of what I'm describing, I want you to feel free to go ahead and do that. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. I always feel, are other people like me? I always feel so in Zoom crazy trying to figure out how to get everything shared properly. Okay, now hopefully you are seeing, nope, you're not seeing the right screen. There's the one I want to show you. Okay, so hopefully you are now seeing the Camps Rock homepage. This is our website. We started this back in 2015, believe it or not. And so today I want to share with you what this is and how you can get into Camps Rock for free and why you can get in for free. So we started this with a view or a focus on the parents, because that's where I came with the idea in the first place. Was I was a mom of 3 kids and they all had different interests and they were different ages, and I needed to find, basically we came to a point in their ages where we left daycare as an option and we wanted to do other things, more active things, and get out and get them into summer camp. So it was really hard, believe it or not. It is very difficult for your moms and dads and other people who are trying to schedule their children into these programs to find what they're looking for. And even though you market yourself, and I'm sure you all have wonderful websites, the actual activity of trying to find what you need is really hard. And then of course, Google changes everything, you know that, right? SEO changes your position in everything all the time. And so I would find something and then a day later, I couldn't find the same thing again. And one day I realized that I did not have something for my youngest child for the first week of August. And let me tell you, trying to find something for a specific week, much less for certain, activities and things like that. He wanted soccer camp the first week of August. And I said, oh gosh, there really should be an app for this. And so that was the start of Bill and I coming up with Camps Rock. So when you have that background that this is all sort of parent focused, that's the reason why it's really important for us that you can be in this for free, because we're not interested in a directory that's only for camps that can afford to market, right? And sometimes it's just not in the budget. And we want every parent to be able to see all of the options that are around them. So I'm just going to do a search for all camps. The parents can enter, whatever they're looking for. They can enter their city. They can put their actual mailing address, which is, I would say, what most of them do, will actually put their own address in the location field. And then they can either click on search all camps or search virtual camps. Was obviously something we added for COVID. That was quick thinking in March of 2020. What in the world are we going to do? So we added virtual camps. So then when they come into the search results in their area, they can further filter the results to things that they're most interested in. So we have all kinds of themes. And in the handout that I'm going to go back to the handout a little bit later, but in the handout I have, actually on the very last page of that handout is the full complete listing of all the themes that you have to choose from for your camps. Then they can search by age, grade, camp type. So full day, overnight, half day, or virtual camp types. They can search by special needs if they have, and we have a listing of the different specific kinds of special needs, but there's also a place I'll show you in a moment where you can actually enter anything else that might be missing here if there's something else that you specifically work with. They can search by date range if they're like I was looking for something for the first week of August. You can put in a date range to just filter down those things that they really need. And then they can change the distance. It defaults to 20 miles from whatever they searched from, but they can change the distance to unlimited if they want. They can also sort by distance. They can sort by featured, which are the camps that are upgraded, and they can sort by price. And let me just for a moment check if we've got a question. Yvonne, you put your camp location in Kent. So you entered a camp already, Yvonne?
Yes, I previously had it entered about a year ago.
Okay, so we will check that out as we're going. Okay, so I will make sure to answer that question. Most of the time, the reason is that you maybe have not published it. We don't publish camps for you. Because, well, let me, when I get to that point, I'll explain that, but there are a lot of reasons why we don't actually publish them. So you actually have to publish it yourself, but we'll check to see if that's your actual situation too. So let me just tell you quickly how you get registered. Very easy. You're going to come to this button at the upper right corner called Camp Directors Login. When it brings you to this page, you're going to click this button, register. If you've never been in Camps Rock before, you would click register. Or if you've been in before, you can do your email and password. If you forgot your password, you can do that. We don't, it's encrypted, so I cannot tell you what your password is. So if you've forgotten it, I can tell you what email it is listed under if you've forgotten that part, but I can't tell you your password. So when you register, you would fill out this page here. So you're going to put your first name and last name, or the account, whoever you feel would be the most logical person to sort of own the account for your company. This email address is actually going to be assigned to your account. So it would be, you would want it to be someone or an email address that's not going to change a lot. It can be yours, that's totally fine, but anybody who would want to possibly edit any of the information in your account would need to have access to, be able to get in. So they would need to know the password. So that's just, from a back office standpoint, like figuring out exactly what email you want to use there. So it's not somebody who's just going to be here this summer and then move on. Then you're going to, then you would enter your company name, your address, and this would be the address of your headquarters. If you have more than one location, which some of you do, this would be this is not going to be displayed on your camps. This is for our use so that we can get a hold of you, your website, and then the contact name, which will automatically fill in from the account, but this could be a different person if you want to change this name. So sometimes there's like the person that owns the account maybe is the owner of the company, but the contact person is the marketing director or something like that, or maybe camp director or whatever. And then you're going to enter the CAPTCHA code and agree to the terms of use and click on register. So I'm not actually registering right now because they already have my registration done. Let's see. And once you click on register, it's going to take you to a page that'll say it's sending you an email for confirmation. You do want to, just confirm that that's your email at some point, but it doesn't keep you from continuing on and logging in, and it'll just take you to your home page. Okay, so I'm going to I'm going to log in with my account, and I have some sample camps here. This is where you would end up. At first, it will be empty if you've never been in before. So you're going to click this button that says Add Camps. And then I'm going to talk through, and like I said, the handout that I sent you has every single one of the data fields and it identifies whether it's required field or an optional field. And it has a lot of information about, details of what would go in there. But so that would be a very useful document for you to refer back to as you're doing this. But the ones that are required have an asterisk, so you can see that description is required and your camp homepage is required. But so I'm just going to give this a name. Let's see, okay, we're just going to call this Fun Camp. Okay, that's not very, that doesn't quite go along with all of what we talked about yesterday, but anyway. And I'm going to grab, I just have a file here, wait a minute. Yeah, my description. So your free listing has up to 300 characters. Your upgraded listings have unlimited length descriptions here, but you can get, so this is basically my, from our exercise yesterday, sort of that fun description of the camp. And if you do the long description, you can copy and paste from, a Word document or something, is often very helpful. Your camp homepage, you want this to go to, I'm just going to point it to Camps Rock for myself. This is just the test camp, but you would want this to go to the closest page for this camp that you're entering. So if you have like separate pages for different camps that you offer, or if you have one page that describes all of your camps, or you have a page, you could even send them to your registration page if you wanted to here. But I recommend this not just go to your home page, which then maybe forces them to look around and try to find your camp information, you know what I mean? So I would point this to something as close as possible to the thing that the parent is looking at here. Registration open and close dates are optional. So, but if you have a hard close on your registration, then you would probably want to enter that there. We're going to just either use the next key, or you can click on these tabs to move along. You're just going to be filling out all this information. Your facility name is an optional. That's a new field we just added last year, because we found that there are places where, like maybe if you're at a university and there's a building name or something that somebody would recognize, you can enter the facility name. This is all going to Google Maps, by the way. So if you have a recognized name of your company, it may pick it up, so you can try entering something. I'm going to put Nutter Center, which is one of the buildings at our local Wright State University, and you can see that Google Maps goes out and grabs all of the proper information and puts it into all of the appropriate fields. So, but again, the facility name would be optional. If all you want to do is put in your address, that's fine too. It is important that it says Google Maps found you, you have a verified address. So if for any reason you're trying to enter something and it's just not taking your address, we have run into some bugs with this, and so don't be frustrated with it. Just reach out to either Bill or I, and we will try to help you if for some reason your address isn't working correctly. But anyway, all of the searching that the parents do is all triggered off of these addresses. So your address this should be for where this camp is going to be held. So if you have multiple locations, even, you would not put your headquarters, for example, but then the camp is held at a park somewhere. You want it to be, because the parent is interested to know how far of a drive is this from my home. Okay. And that's another thing that if you have multiple different, like maybe you have exactly the same camp, but you run it at 3 different schools, you're going to want to enter 3 different listings in Camps Rock, because the parents' search results coming back based on their address, if that makes sense. Okay. Again, let's see some questions. Oh, Bill's adding the. Oh, Rosemary, you did not get the handout for today. It was in the email that had this Zoom link. So it's right below it. Did you find it?
The email for today?
Yes.
I don't know. I'd have to go back to my email and check.
Okay.
I'll check.
It's in there, but in a moment I can bring it up so you can see it. It's
because I missed yesterday.
Okay. And that's all the thing that the link that Bill just plopped in there, the summer camps free, the day one information is all on that link. So including the handouts from day one. And then tonight, once we're done with this class, I'll put everything in that same exact link will be the information from today and the handouts from today. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So any questions on location? All right. Then under themes, and like I said, on the very last page of the handout from today is a list of all of our themes and sub-themes. So you can look through there and figure out what are the best fits for you. On a free listing, you can pick 2. On a one of the upgraded listings, you can pick up to 5 themes and sub-themes if you happen to have a lot of things. I mean, some camps it's like, it's sports basketball, right? and maybe, do creative, maybe some leadership. You're going to teach in your basketball offerings, right? So that's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, under criteria, these things are all optional. Gender, it defaults to no gender, but you can choose male or female if you want. Grade and age. Grade should be, our preference would be that you list this in the grade that the child would be entering in the fall. Now, I know that there are some, that is sort of like industry-wide. We did a lot of research to figure out what people did, and that was sort of what most camps seemed to do, was the grade in the fall. If you do your registration process differently and you do the grade they're in right now, like the spring, that's okay. You can still have your registration or your own website do it that way. It's just that when parents are searching, we tell them they're searching for the grade that the child would be entering in the fall. Okay. The other thing is, if you have the ability to enter both of these, that's very helpful from the standpoint of you showing up in more searches. Sometimes I know that's hard, because if you go by grade, and some children might, be young for their grade or old for their grade. And so then it's kind of hard to like, okay, well, what age would that equate to? So if that does not work for you, don't worry about it. Just put in what is makes the most sense. But if it's possible to put in both, that's wonderful. Then amenities, all of these are optional, but you can talk about if you include lunch, if you include or have any kind of extended care available, you would just check these check boxes and describe it. Bring a sack lunch, no nuts, right? Extended care, you can talk in here about, mornings, put a price in there, whatever you want to say to explain what your extended care. And of course, our goal here is not to replace your website. So you probably have lots more information on your website. And that's really the goal, is to get them to click through to your website. So don't feel like you have to, obviously you only have 100 characters here. So don't feel like you have to explain the whole world while you're putting this in here. Special needs, I really encourage you to think about, is it possible for you to include special needs kids in your program? And we have a whole list of different things that you can select here, everything ADHD or similar kinds of things, autism, celiac, food allergies, diabetes, brain injuries, vision impairments, wheelchair needs, all kinds of stuff. So everything that you check is going to show up, and I'll show you in a moment what the listing will look like. But let's just say I'm going to check a variety of things that we can incorporate. You can also right here add some special needs description if you want to. A lot of places will put like, call us or contact us for more information, or to discuss the specific needs for your child or whatever like that. And so in a minute, I'll show you what this looks like on the actual listing. But okay, then we're going to move on to price. You do have to put in at least the full price. And let me explain to you, because I didn't talk about this initially. We would like you to list every different kind of camp that you offer, right? So price is actually a really good indicator of this might need to be a different camp, or more than one listing if you can't say this is my price for this camp. Okay, so if there's a range of price, and maybe you have a price for a half-day camp and a different price for your full-day camp, that really needs to be two different listings if you can't say this is the full price. Okay, so but you need to put full price in, and then you can also select up to 2 other additional types of prices, and you can select either like resident price, member price, early bird, or sibling price, or you can select other. So let's just say maybe you have a membership price that's $320, and then maybe you have other discounts that are like, family and friends until March 31st. And you can fill that in more completely. I'm kind of abbreviating things here for time. The other thing you can do if you want is have a different price show as your main price on your listing. So if your full price is $350, but maybe most of the people who come to your camp are members or maybe resident, you could choose to show that as your listing price. All of them will still show up in your details page. Okay, so I'm going to leave that way. Then on the dates and times tab, you're going to pick, is it a full day camp, overnight, half day, or virtual? We'd like for a full day to be, let's say 9 to at least 3 or 4. Parents do get frustrated when something says it's a full day, but it's actually only a few hours long, and they don't feel like this really satisfies their need if they're a working parent and they need truly a full day camp. So half day would be anything, a few hours. Sometimes you might have like a morning and then an afternoon program, and then overnight obviously is residential camp. The start time and end time are actually optional, and that is because if you are an overnight camp, you do not have to put in, you can if you want, put in like when is your opening, program, or when do they need to be picked up, but you don't have to, you can leave those blank. Also, if you've chosen a half-day camp, you can actually enter 2 time zone or time frames. So you could say, you have 9 a.m. to noon, and then you have 1 p.m. to 4. Okay, so you could have a half-day camp that runs twice each day. Days of the week, again, this is also optional, but it's very helpful to parents on the resulting detail page for them to be able to see, does it include Friday, for example. Then on your start date and end date, and this is something that's different for the way we do things, and it all has to go back to that idea that we're trying to help parents find what they're looking for. And so for start date and end date, what we really want is for every different instance or offering of this camp, the date that it begins and ends. So if you offer the same exact camp 5 times through the summer, you would end up with 5, and you can add more date ranges down here. You would end up with 5 date ranges. Let's see. We are in the process of soon going to be fixing this. I do realize that this is a little bit painful because it makes you do all this clicking to get to the correct month. But anyway, all right, so we would do like this. We're going to put, each date range. If you have a camp that runs for 2 weeks and another camp that runs for 3 weeks, those would need to be separate listings, and you would actually put the start date and end date of those, when it is being offered. Does anyone have any questions on this? And feel free to unmute yourself if you want to just ask a question.
Hi, how do you show that July 4th were closed?
Yeah, that I would say would probably be either in your description, or you might actually, if you want to, like, is it a different price? Do you change the price for the week of July 4th?
Yes, we do.
You do? Okay, so
Yes.
in that case, I would probably put it as a separate item. Now, if that causes a lot of problem for you because, maybe you've got 9 camps and every one of those 9 camps is different on the week of 4th of July, and it would mean that you'd have to enter all those extra ones, then I might address it either in like under pricing. You could discuss it as a sort of a discount type of thing if the price is a little bit different. The week of 4th of July is $25 less because we don't, or whatever. Yeah, that is an excellent question, but I think it's very common. I think parents realize that most camps do not run on the 4th of July. So, yeah. Does that help? I'm sorry.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay. What if our pricing is weekly? How do we specify? So this is, I think, maybe now this page answered that question. So if your pricing is weekly, then your dates should reflect that they are weekly. But on the other hand, because there are still some programs where it literally is full summer, and it starts June 30 or June 1st and ends on August 13th, and they charge $1,300 for the entire summer or something along those lines. Then that would go in there, but the dates and times would reflect that. Something that I do recommend to people sometimes, if you mostly do week-long camps, but maybe you have one that's a 2-week camp, that I actually put in the title 2 weeks, right? Because it sort of helps to justify the price, because a lot of parents that are looking at this, I would say the vast majority of the camps that are listed are a full week, or at least, 3 or 4 days. And so when they see a bigger price tag, generally, overnight camps are generally a lot higher priced, but 2-week camps tend to have a higher price tag too. So did that answer that question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Great questions though. Thank you. And then virtual, you do have to put dates on the virtual camp, even though, let's say you have something that you offer that is almost like self-service. Maybe it's a pre-recorded thing and it's not like they actually have to do it on certain dates. Then you could put your date range, as a bigger date range because you want it to be picked up. But because you do have to have at least one date range on all camps. I don't know how many people might fall into that situation with the virtual. Your contact information is going to automatically be filled in from your camp, your registration page, but you can change this. So if you have different people who are responsible for different camps, you can change the name, and you can also put the phone number to be like the main line to your office instead of to someone's actual desk if you want to be protective of that. And then the other thing is that the email address is never displayed on the actual Camps Rock website, so parents do not see the email address. And then here you would okay. Here is where you would save your camp. And this also shows you your upgrade options on this page. I use Firefox and the pop-up doesn't come up. So on some browsers, when you click the Save Camp button, it brings up a pop-up that says your camp has been saved and tells you the name of it and everything. But if that pop-up doesn't come up, don't worry about it. It still has saved it. So you just would click on this back to list, and then it will show you, there's our camp we just created. Okay. Now, the publishing thing. So we do not publish your camps for you. This red means you've started it, obviously. The yellow means you have entered all of the required fields to call it completed. That is required for the system. And if you publish it, then it will turn green. Now I am going to publish it, but I'm going to unpublish it because this is live. This is the real thing. So when I click on the publish, it's just going to remind me that it's going to make it visible to parents. Have you previewed your camp? Oh, and actually, I'm going to show you how you can preview it before you publish. Just click on that preview button, and this shows you exactly what it will look like. You can see here where I've got, both of the times that I put in, the days of the week show up, all of that I put in about special needs, that all goes down there. The link to the website, that's a live link that would go to the website. It shows the map, so that you can double check that everything is correct. And then, and my little bar is above. Okay, here we go. Okay, so then when you publish, it will turn green. And that means it's now out in the world and a parent could search for it, near that zip code or near that address. You would be able to search for it and find it. Again, the reason we don't publish for you, sometimes people will enter all their information in, but they don't want to publish it until, say, maybe they're sending out their mailing to their members and they don't want to reveal this anywhere else before they've mailed their members. Or maybe they're waiting on and entered all the information, but they're waiting on some confirmation about pricing for a field trip, and that might impact the price of their camp. So they don't want to publish it yet. So that's just two examples of why we don't publish it. You do need to publish it yourself. Let's see. So time has flown by. I was going to share with you, let's see. The question is, do you have campers interested in Columbus, Ohio? Oh, absolutely. Okay, so we're in Dayton, was where we started, but we are nationwide now, and we advertise. Our advertising to parents will start probably the second week of next month. We haven't done a lot of advertising yet, but that will start happening. And really, we have, I would say, Atlanta, New York, even out in California, San Francisco, Toronto. I'm just thinking of like some of the cities that have, it's really interesting because we market sort of to a city in the same way, and some cities just take off like crazy and other cities don't, and we just never can predict what will happen. So, but yeah, Columbus, Ohio, definitely, we would love to have you. I hope that answered that question. So I wanted to also show you, was going to do Jenny, who won our thing yesterday, Jenny from Game On Sports for Girls. And I have upgraded her account. So I was going to just quickly show you doing her camp. And hang on one second, I need to get to her website. There it is. I'm assuming you can still see this. Okay, so this is the Game On Sports for Girls website. I'm just going to enter one camp. This is Glencoe Summer Day Camp. Just gonna copy that. Look at me with all my tabs. Please tell me that there are other people out there in the world that do that. I have a zillion tabs always open. I am going to use her text that she sent me. However, let's see if I can quickly show you this other. I'm going to stop sharing that, and I'm going to share this one. This gives you an idea of, whoops. So you see an image of a little girl looking up in the sky. This is Children's Special Services. You can get an idea here of all of the text that you can put in that talks, in great detail about the kinds of things that you do in your program. This particular one was a program where parents with children that have special needs could get family support services. And so she put information in there about that. And then, of course, you can get to the camp website. Oh, I also wanted to show you what the parent reviews look like. It really is so awesome to be able to get your parent reviews on there on your page, especially if you're doing free listings. This adds text, and I'll tell you honestly, there's no limit. So people can put all kinds of glowing, wonderful things, and that will be on your page as well. So those are nice to get. Can you put in links? Links? No, not in the text. You could put the link, it won't be clickable. So you could put text there, but it's not clickable right now. The only clickable link is to go to camp website. And then for the upgraded camps, you have a button up here that says go to camp website. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go back to sharing the other page. Is everybody okay on time? I'm sorry. Here we are. I'm screen sharing. I don't know what I'm screen sharing. That was not what I wanted. There we are, back here. So what I want to jump to, so basically with the upgraded camps, you have unlimited text. Everything else is the same. Your location is the same. You get 5 themes and sub-themes. And then you get your logos and photos. So I'm going to just quickly upload her photos. And let me go. Game on Sports for Girls. Now, the logo needs to be square. And so if you've ever used, hers was not square. The one she sent me was just a little bit more tall than wide. And so I just went out on Canva. If you've ever used Canva, I also often will use just good old-fashioned paint, the paint application that comes. So if you need help with changing the format of your logo so that it can be square, just let me know. Then you can add a cover photo. The cover photo dimensions and all of the dimensions for these are in that handout. It's 1200 pixels by 400 pixels, so it's a long. This is basically like your Facebook image, what do you call it, cover photo for your Facebook business page. It's the same photo will be displayed for all of your camps. And so I had to, in order for it to fit, I just temporarily, Jenny, I hope you don't mind, I just threw some kind of matching blue color on the ends to make it fit there. And then add her other photos. She had such cute photos. Oh. And the last one. Okay. Let's see, it did not come up to say. There we go. There, now I can go back to list and preview that. It's in there, you can see the images show up. And again, she can put in a whole lot more text on that. Okay. Any other questions? Where can we find pricing for the upgraded? Yeah, so you can go a couple of different places. How did I, sorry, somehow I logged out. Sometimes I do this brainless. Okay, this button upgrade camps will take you to the page that talks about different options. We have a gold package that is $20 a month. On the gold package, you get upgraded listings for up to 20 camps. You get your that cover photo, your logo, 4 camp photos on every detail page. Oh, and that carousel of rotating photos can be different on every camp. So if you have some camps that are for younger kids, you can have pictures of younger children. If you have camps that are more focused on art or theater and others that are sports, I mean, if you have a wide variety of things, every different camp can have a different set of 4 photos on it. Unlimited text, your 5 themes, and then the button. And then on the advertisers package, and this will be going up in price, and I think it's going to be in about 2 weeks. We've been kind of holding off on this just because COVID just had things so crazy. And so I do want to warn you, it will go up. I'll send a note before we would do that. But for right now, it's $159. It'll be going up to $199. You get, in addition to everything else, you're going to be listed as featured on the Camps Rock homepage. Reminder emails will be sent to parents who favorited you. I didn't really talk about the favoriting, like on sorry. Well, there you go. Parents can create their own login ID and password and add your camp to their favorites list so they can easily get back to you. That was one of those, me as a parent, not ever being able to find what I was looking for and then losing it later. I wanted there to be a place to save it to a favorites list. So that's another thing that we do, is send reminder emails to those parents who have favorited you. And then we're in the process right now of creating landing pages for each city. And so when those are done, those the platinum or this advertiser special is featured on that landing page for your city. Okay, any other questions about that? And if you have more than 100 camps, I don't know if any of you fall into that category, but there are some that have lots and lots of camps. We just recently added Breakthrough Basketball is one that has well over 300 camps. We can do those big ones in an upload through an Excel spreadsheet. And so if you have that situation, please reach out to either Bill or I via email, or you can click, no, it says right there, bill.potter@campsrock.com. Oh, and the other thing I totally forgot to mention, I want to show you another way that you can add. Once you have added one camp, you can do a copy from. This is not going to be all that exciting because I only entered one camp for her. But so you can, let's say you had several camps for your little age range. You can click on one of them. It's going to say it's going to copy from that. It'll copy everything over, and then it names it -copy. You need to remember to rename it to whatever whatever you need to, and then go through and update anything that might be different about that camp. So maybe everything about that camp is exactly the same, but it's a half-day camp. So you would use that copy from feature in order to quickly make copies of those camps. That helps a lot. Can you search by camp name? Yes. So like I can go now, let me think about this, because this is going to be, shoot, I wonder if Bill knows. Yeah. Yeah, it looks for exactly what you type in. So oh, because I've got it on, they're not in this location. That's why it's not showing up. I know they're in Cincinnati. You know what, Yvonne, let me search for yours. Because Yvonne, you were the one that said that your camp didn't show up. Let's see, Bill, did you send me that? Okay.
And you could do varsity basketball and just do distance, all of them will come up.
Yes, right. Okay, so Kent, where? Kent, Connecticut?
Yeah.
There it is.
That's it.
Is that it? Okay, so there you are.
Click on it. You'll see your
Yeah,
message.
okay. All right. Awesome. So, Donnebeck, let's do that. We'll just search by, well, so I can search by Donnebeck, but then change the distance. And there it is. I will say that's not the, I mean, most parents search the, obviously the main thing they search on is distance, or not distance, the location, so their address, and then age or grade is the second most common thing people search on, and then theme. So, any other questions? And Bill, sorry, I'm speaking to Bill. He can hear me. He's muted, but he's in the same room. Did I forget anything, Bill?
No. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Okay.
No, you got it.
Okay. That is how you do it. And so, I mean, literally, you just register. No credit card required. Go in and enter your camps. Use that copy feature if you have a lot of camps that are similar, but you need to, change. Maybe the location is different, or I mean, everybody has very different situations, and so we tried to make it as flexible as possible. If you have any, we're super open to like hearing your feedback, or if you have any problems, just send us an email. We are very interested to help you get your camps listed. How do I see all the camp that you have listed in Colorado? Do you offer online registration option? Okay, everything in Colorado. So, so let me tell you this too. You may not find a lot in your city right now because people are entering their camps right now and maybe haven't published. So I'm gonna just, let's see, I'll just try Denver, Colorado. I don't know exactly where you might be.
And this is the first year we kind of went out.
Right, yeah. So that's how parents would, search in their city. And obviously there's not a lot yet in Denver. That doesn't mean that there won't be at some point. And so, I would take advantage of being one of the first ones and get in there. We do not do online registration. And so the reason for that, first of all, there's a lot of, I'm going to stop sharing the screen for the moment. Okay, so there's a lot of competition in that space. And it is just sort of not something that we want to do right now. So I do envision that that's something that this might turn into eventually, but we do not do registration. So on the other hand, that's also not, I mean, because I know our competitors and I know that there are those that, you have to let them handle some of your registrations or maybe give them some of your profits on registrations. And that isn't where we want to be. So we are just literally trying to help parents find you. And so that's what we are. And nationwide, yeah, we are nationwide and Canada, and just working, as Bill said, as fast as we can to get the word out. And, we have, just as you know, it's challenging and things like email drives us crazy. But so, yeah. How old is our directory? So we started in 2015, and that was just in Dayton, Ohio. In the next year, we went to 4 other cities in Ohio. Then we branched out to sort of from Michigan down to Georgia, in that range. And then last year, we went to about 15 different states. This year's the first time we're actually going nationwide. We were in Canada last year, though. We had a lot in Toronto. So, do you advertise in Parent Magazine? We do not advertise in Parent Magazine. We advertise on Facebook, Google. We will be doing some radio things this year. We're looking into Spotify and that sort of thing, and YouTube. So, and then I'm also looking at some moms groups that are kind of nationwide moms groups, and we'll be hopefully doing that. We've looked at things like Peach Jar. Just felt like Peach Jar was way too expensive. I don't know if y'all have tried that, but it is definitely not for the for-profit world. So, and Yvonne, did you have a question?
Yes, I did. I'm sorry. I took a phone call, so I don't know if you answered my question. Can you search by camp name? Like, I have couple other camps that I know, and I wanted to know, without knowing their location or whatever, I just wanted to know if I could search by their name. If I could.
Sure. Yep. And I did do that, but so what you would do is put just under find, you can just type the name. And then once you go in, you would change your distance to unlimited if you don't know where they're located.
Okay.
And then it should bring them up if they're in it, right? And this is all, yeah. We don't, like a platform like Yelp, for example, goes out and what's called scrapes data, and populates their information based on scraped data. And we don't do that. This is all your information. So you may not find them if they are not in here.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
This is actually, I've mentioned this before I don't know if any of you are in the Facebook group for the summer camp professionals or the day camp professionals groups. It's actually an interesting way for you to find out what price other people are charging for similar camps to yours. You can go out and just like browse around and see what there is out there. What are people charging? What are they doing for, extended care, and just sort of check things out. A way to track or numbers of those who search or view your camps in the directory. So right this moment, no, there isn't. We had that feature in there and it wasn't working correctly. And so we took it out, and I hope to be able to put that feature back in. But right now I don't have that. Like, that would be in order to see how many times you show up in the search result and how many times somebody clicks on your detail pages, and then how many times people click to your website. And so I can't put the feature up until the data is correct. So the data wasn't correct. So if you ever had that, wondered about that, we can get that information for you, but it's not right this minute. It's not a feature that's available to you on the website. So can you share this for a full day camp? What is the average low and high 5-day full day week? Oh my goodness, it varies so much. You're talking about price. What's the price? There's so many factors that go into the price of the camp, and some, as much as even like some organizations are not trying to make a profit on their camp. In other words, their camp is more of an outreach than it is a profit center for them. In other cases, it totally depends on where they're located. Like camps in New York City or around in those areas are a lot higher than like out here in Dayton, Ohio. I would say here in Dayton, just a regular traditional summer camp that's not got any, like, what do I want to say? Not super specialized. So like a camp that's being held at a rec center, for example, I might expect to see around $150 to $170 for a full week, 5 days, full week, not including extended care. But that, again, it just varies so much, and it really depends on the organization. So Rosemary, thank you for your comment. I'm glad. It seems like a great option. We're really happy about it, and just would love to get all of your camps in. If you have any problems, any questions, literally don't hesitate to just send us an email and let us know, and we will try our best to help you. So, all right, any other questions? Thank you so much for taking the time. And I'm so sorry this went way longer than I meant for it to, but
Thank
on
you.
the other hand, you're welcome.
Seems like a nice service. I'm going to register my camp. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rosemary.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Have a
All right.
great day.
Thank you. You
Okay.
too. Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
All right, thank you.